All right, I think we can get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. My name is Joe Steele. I'm the Senior Director of Communications and Legislative Affairs with LIFT. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. This is just set up as a regular Zoom meeting, so if you can go ahead and put yourselves on mute, that'd be fantastic. We are recording this session just so we make sure we have all of the questions that may be asked answered and available to people who are unable to join. And just want to make sure that we have a record of all of that as well. Yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping matters. Just put yourselves on mute and we will avoid all the background noise that we can. With that, I'm going to turn the session over to Denise Vallis, our program manager on this LEAP project. So she will walk you through all of the details on the process and the application. And all the things that go into that. So Denise, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the LEAP project call. So this is quite similar to what we had in the past, Fast Forge, but we thought that LEAP was actually more inclusive and is better at describing the types of projects that we want to do, along with including the whole ecosystem. So it was important that we had that ecosystem word in these project calls. So LEAP stands for Lift Ecosystem Accelerator Program. Just a quick question, Joe, can you see the bottom? I'm not used to using Zoom. So in the bottom, I see everybody's faces. Do you see that on my screen or do you just see the presentation?
I see the presentation and you.
Okay, excellent. All right. So perfect. All right. So obviously you've all joined this call, which means you have found our LEAP website and been able to download this presentation as well as join this meeting because this is where the sign up was for it. But the instructions to submit a proposal is to complete the attached forms. So there is actually that project call form as well on our website. Include the budget that you would like, and we'll go into more detail in that, and the timeline. It is a maximum of 6 months for the timeline, but we'll go into that too. Projects will be evaluated on technological merit, the technology MRL level, program timing, the funding requirement, LIFT member engagement, planned use of LIFT's high bay equipment, your cost share commitment. And here is the link to actually submit the project calls. And we know it's working. We've already gotten some projects in. Okay, so project summary. LEAP is open to all LIFT members. This is an industry call. So it's open to all industry LIFT members. Awardee must be a LIFT Silver member or a higher tier. All project consortium members must be a LIFT member in good standing for award. So you can work with other companies as well. The principal investigator must be a Silver member. The subs to that member, they can be lower tiers, but they must be LIFT members in good standing. Non-members and or lower tier members may submit proposals, but must join membership or upgrade to minimum Silver tier if awarded. The subjects must be aligned with the 4 technology pillars that you see on the right here. We'll go into that. And they must be defined by the 5 topics. So here are the topics. Noel, could you talk to this a little bit?
Sure. So first we've got the LIFT pillars. Which is ICME and computational engineering. Second one would be advanced LOA process development. Third would be the multi-material joining, and finally agile and smarter manufacturing. But more important than the 4 tech pillars, in our previous Fast Forward calls was an open call for any to submit a proposal related to any of the 4 pillars. This time around, we've actually narrowed it down to 5 specific topics underneath these 4 pillars, and those 5 specific topics that we're looking for info or looking for proposals against are in a subsequent page.
They are.
Okay, I'll wait till you get there. So there are 5 topics under which we would like to see proposals. So under the 4 tech pillars, and then specifically related to the 5 topics of interest.
Okay, can you see them now, Noel?
No, oh, there they are now, yes. So here's the 5 topics. So the topics that we're looking for proposals against is really, first, the simulation and manufacture of hybrid materials, really MMCs or CMCs, relevant to extreme environments. Most of our work is focused on extreme environments, possibly also applications in cold spray welding, direct current sintering, or SPS. So those are some examples, but really looking for the simulation and manufacture of hybrid materials. Second one is the high throughput characterization, rapid qualification materials. We see a critical need here, so looking to advance this. And these 5 topics are all in our roadmap, but not active work that we have ongoing today, but in our roadmap that we see in 1 or 2 years' time. So that's why we're trying to prime the pump now. And the next one down is the simulation and manufacture of functionally graded materials with a laminar or continuously graded. Fourth one down is solid state joining, specifically of significantly dissimilar materials. Just a few examples like ceramics to metals or CMCs to MMCs. Up to you what manufacturing or what joining technology, but really around solid state specifically. And then finally, this is around advanced diagnostics for process adjustments and predictive maintenance. We're thinking of things like mobile, 5G, removing the operator from the process. So those are really the 5 topics which will fall underneath those 4 pillars that you saw on the previous slide. So I'll stop talking, leave it back to you, Denise, and I'll answer questions later.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Noel. So looking at timing is really important to consider. The proposal deadline is May 13th. Okay. The project announcements will be in June of 2022, and we will start getting the subawards on contract just right after the winners are announced. Now, it's really important to understand that contracting can take some time. And I was project manager for several of the Fast Forge projects. And sometimes companies don't realize that it does take some time. We work very quickly when we can, but some companies have very, very large contracting offices and things might go slower. So it's really important to understand that the projects must be completed by March 31st. So that means they absolutely need to be on contract 6 months before that. Because that due date cannot change. It will not move. So if it's not on contract, then it just eats away at the project time. So please keep that in mind. The final report is due 30 days after the end of the period of performance. And again, that end of period performance is March 31st. A debrief to non-awardees will go out in June, and that will include a discussion about maybe further development of the project ideas into white papers or maybe future proposal submissions. So for project funding, there's a maximum of $100,000 lift contribution per project. There's a minimum industry cost share of 20% of total project value. Cost share, the recommended cost share is 1-to-1, and it is strongly considered in project selection. The award will be cost reimbursable, no fee, and it will have a not to exceed amount of the lift award. And basically, as you go along through the project, you bill on a monthly basis. Okay, so this isn't milestone based. It is it is billed monthly, and you basically record your efforts and then bill us, and then we pay you on a monthly basis. Fully burdened cost proposal required at submission deadline. Decision criteria. So technological merit, how aligned is it with our project topics and our lift pillars? The technology MRL level. So at lift, we work in the 4 to 7 range. Anything below that or above that will be disqualified. And really the goal is to move the TRL MRL level by 1 or 2 points. Also, the funding requirement will be part of the decision criteria. The cost share commitment, including services and materials. Lift member engagement, again, awardees need to be Lift Silver members or higher. And then also too, Lift ecosystem involvement is part of the decision criteria. So are you working with other members? That's always a nice thing to do. And then finally, the use of lift high bay equipment. So Warren, you took a tour and you saw that there's a lot more out there now. And so we do have a lot of really nice equipment. And there is a link there so you can actually do a virtual tour if anybody's interested in seeing what's actually available. Okay, so this is the actual submission form itself. So this is available on the website as well. And basically you just go through here and read each of the pages and fill in the information. Please make sure that you do have a project leader that is reachable, because that is who we will be reaching out to for questions, communications, and then also once the awardees are announced. Okay, really this is just basically pretty basic information. Here you would put the summary. This is where you put the funding breakdown, and we do tend to have a lot of questions about the total project value. Noel, could you share some of the questions we get, or give an explanation here?
Yes, so last round of Fast Forge, this is where we had the biggest discrepancy, or the biggest understanding was around the costs and what was considered total project value. So all the costs that would be put into a program, whether it's prior work, prior material, cost share, whether it's work that's being done towards the program, everything that it costs to do the program becomes the total project value. And then that is made up of 2 fundamental elements, one being the funding that you're requesting from LIFT, and the second being the total member cost share. So those 2 numbers should be identical. The bottom line of the column called the costs, and the bottom line under the project funding column. So that was where I saw the biggest discrepancy in the prior round of submissions. Then
Thank you.
We're interested as well in how much effort each organization is putting in versus their costs. And you can include as well the costs that would be incurred if LIFT was to be doing work as one of the consortium members.
Thank you. Again here, just basic questions. Please identify the problem and the deliverables and the work justification. So we do have the TRL MRL level chart in the appendix. And so if you could just give an explanation of how you believe your project will move that level at least 1 point, somewhere in between 4 and 7. And the scope, technical approach, the schedule, very importantly, remembering that it's just 6 months and it must be completed by March 31st. and then the work that is proposed to be done at Lyft. And that is the submission form. Are there any questions?
Yeah, thanks, Denise. I know there are a couple of questions came in via the chat function, but if you'd like to just go ahead and raise your hand, we can take questions that way. The first question I'll just grab off the chat was, is in-kind cost share allowable?
Yes, so I'm hoping I've answered that already. The answer is yes. So cost share could be prior work, it could be prior previously developed material, it could be actual services or work being done towards the program by the respective consortium members. Does that answer your question, Nick?
That question
Yes,
came
thank you.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Glenn as well. Sorry, John.
No problem. Another question that came in about organizing, Lyft organizing any events or communications portals to help share ideas and build the teams. And
so I think, Glenn, we'd expect that you would find your consortium members. If you have specific questions around somebody that's capable of doing something, you would certainly reach out through Denise. If you're looking for a consortium member that's got a certain capability to help you with a project, assuming you want to be a PI and you're looking for some capability or capacity, if you reach out to Denise through our ecosystem, we could possibly find somebody that we already know in our ecosystem that could help you. But our intent is not to build the teams for you or to provide actual ideas to develop proposals around. We'd like proposals to be generically from the ecosystem around those 5 topics.
we're happy to
Noel,
make introductions to anybody.
Another resource that I use actually is our webpage, and it has the list of our members, and they have links to those companies, and so you can actually see their capabilities, and I actually use that quite often myself.
Great, thanks, Denise. So another question here from Nick. Requirements around US citizenship. Yes, the answer is an absolute yes, and I think there's a checkbox where we submit the form as well, isn't there, Joe? Joe, do we have a checkbox?
Yeah, I believe the checkbox is there to confirm that U.S. citizens will be working on the project.
Yes, so when you submit the proposal to the portal, there'll be a checkbox that you need to check that confirms that you'll have US citizens working on the project.
So that's for everybody, not just the PI.
Yes, for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody to whom money will flow, being federal money and being sensitivity of some of the subjects, we'd expect that it is all US citizens working on it.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, given our status as a Department of Defense supported manufacturing innovation institute, we have to be very kind of sensitive to that. So good question. Any other questions out there from the folks assembled? Again, you can use your raise your hand function that's under the reactions button on the Zoom toolbar here, or you can just enter it in the chat like some other folks have. Give you another couple of seconds to think about that. Someone did raise their hand. Warren.
So the question I have, will you go back to the beginning? This is about the joining of MMCs and MCMs, right?
Yes.
That's what the focus of the program is about.
Not the entire program. So go back up. So we've put out 4 subjects, 4 topics around which we'd like to receive proposals. That would be one of them. Stop there, Denise.
Okay, so this is a list of four or 5 options, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to involve all of them.
Oh no, so you could submit a proposal under any one of these 5.
Okay.
A proposal that could combine them, that's also okay. But in principle, we're interested in generically the simulation and manufacture of hybrid materials. we're interested in high throughput characterization of rapid qualification of materials, and that could be a completely different material set. That could be, for all we know, it could be an alloy that's completely out of the realm. The simulation and manufacture of functionally graded materials could really be any functionally graded materials. Our focus is really around metallics in this case, though. I think in the functionally graded, or if we could grade from a metallic to something else. Solid state joining of significantly dissimilar materials, a complete different swim lane. It could be, say, glass sapphire to metal. It could be MMCs to CMCs. Those are just some examples. If there's other things you can think of that would be of interest, knowing that our focus is really, application-wise, our primary focus is really armor and hypersonics from an application focus as an institute. But that's not all we're doing. And then finally, the more open-ended topic, which is advanced diagnostics for process adjustments and predictive maintenance. But
Okay.
5 discrete topic areas.
Right. And I guess I missed it. I'm coming a little bit quick to this. This presentation, or at least this page of the presentation, is available in the, where would I find it?
It's on the website. Actually, Joe, you could answer that better than I can.
Yeah, if you go to the LIFT website and find the project calls page, you can find that by clicking on the menu button that's on the top right side of the homepage. The project call page is in that menu. It's really lift.technology/project-calls.
Meantime, it looks like Luke has got his hand raised as well.
Yeah, just getting to Luke. Luke, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a question about funding the work performed to lift high bay. I think in the past we've used part of our membership fee to fund that on I think it was a previous task force project. Is that an option? And if so, does that count towards the total project value?
So you could add to the project. So essentially, if you're a $100,000 member, you've got $50,000 of prepaid services. You could add that $50,000 to the project, and that would be $50,000 worth of work that LIFT would do for the project for you, and that could be considered as cost share because you are adding it to the program over and above the LIFT dollars that would be put into the program. So LIFT would essentially put up to $100,000 of cash into the program, as well as we could put your prepaid services into the program and consider that as cost share from your side. So it is essentially work that you already own that we can do for you. Great.
Okay. So that would be accounted for in that slide with the finances. That would be accounted for in the cost share. So it'd be a $100K contribution from LIFT cash, and then whatever cash we're contributing plus that prepaid service would be in the cost share column, that last row.
Yes, hopefully that's clear to everybody. So for instance, if you look at a program, say the total cost of the program was, say, $200,000, and of that, the lead project funding from LIFT could be 100. The member cost share could be the other 100, but of that 100, 50,000 could be prepaid services that Luke is having LIFT perform for this program, and the other 50 could be actual cost share of work, either work or cash that Luke's organization is adding to this program.
Okay, thank you.
Is that clear, or does that need further qualification?
That's clear to me.
Okay, great. Actually, that's a good question, Joe. Denise, maybe we should add something to our Q&A section on the website just to make sure it's clear to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, great question.
You're on mute, Joe.
Yeah, thank you for that. I will. We can add that to a Q&A sheet as well. And just to follow up on the previous question from Warren, I just updated our website, so the project call is available right on the homepage. So you go to lift.technology, it should pop up as a window.
Wow, nice, Joe.
So
That's quick.
we'll get that updated for you. Or trying to do things real time here. Good question. Any other questions out there from our participants here? Give you a few more seconds to think about it while I'm continuing to update the page. All right. Well, if you have any questions following this, you can reach out to us directly at Lyft through Denise or through our communications email address. We'll make sure to get those questions answered as quickly as possible. But we look forward to all of your ideas and your project proposals, and looking forward to getting this project all off the ground.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and if nothing else, have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.